Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the queue. My name is Easy Quiet, a corporate-bound kuudere who just wants to be hikineet. What is up, everyone? I am doing some drawing today. I'm gonna be doing specifically 2-minute figures. I have my thing open right now, and I'm just gonna go through here. And what I want to do, essentially, is I want to, this is something I struggle a little bit with whenever I draw, is understanding how things look in 3D, you know? So I'm gonna be practicing that today. I have a different setup than I usually do, so this is also a little bit of warm-up for, I don't know, whatever the heck we're gonna be doing. Let's start over here, and this time I'm using rkjk.org, which is another pose viewer. You know, me and my pose viewers, you gotta love them. You gotta love how many actually exist, you know. And I forget my train of thought. Why was I bringing this up? Yeah, last week, I was using Numian's tool, which is another one of my favorite ones, which also has a ground plane, but RKGK has a bunch of options for different proportion characters. So I'm using that today because I like the ground plane a little bit better with this one. A lot of the poses are a little more, I don't want to call them normal, but it's a little different than Numian's. I think in Numian's tool, there's a lot of poses that are a little bit more unique. You know, they're a little weirder. They're a little more quirkier. But with this tool, they're a little bit more poses that I would probably draw. Just in general, they're not crazy poses. Which, you know, pro and con, right? Pro is they're easier poses to draw. Con is they're not as wildly dynamic as what Numian usually offers. But you know, it's up to me to make it as dynamic as possible, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I mean, this is just a thing that one of my professors told me, my favorite professor, Michael Hampton, whenever I was in college. It's you could approach a study or figure drawing as the attempt to 100% copy what the pose is doing, or you can approach it. Fuck, 2 minutes is that short? You're kidding. Okay, I'm gonna continue. Or you can approach it as sort of a way to, instead of it as a observational study, as more of a way to make your poses a little bit more dynamic. I want to try doing that. I want to do that. And I kind of do it already. I feel by default, there is a temptation to exaggerate. I have the problem of over-exaggerating quite often, though. I remember when I was in his class, I would go after class, and I'd have him look at my poses, and he would look at it and be like, you know, this is a little too exaggerated. This is the back is breaking a little bit. I'm like, God damn it, I just want you to like my work. But it was a good critique. I actually got a portfolio review once on some of my illustrations. The guy who was reviewing my portfolio was this god illustrator or whatever. That was his thing. He was good at illustrating. And he looked at my work and he's like, you know, your poses are really unrealistic. People wouldn't actually be in these poses. In my head, I was you know, at the time that I was drawing it, I would think of it oh, this is a dynamic pose, you know. The poses is the character's doing something crazy over here. But he was right, you know, the character would probably be super uncomfortable if they were in that pose. And that was just not something I would really think about whenever thinking about doing a dynamic pose. You know, it's always about those backbreaking mechanics, you know. And I think maybe that's just an animator thing, right? I don't know. I don't know if it's an animator thing or not. But I think maybe that's just a bad habit I learned because I started animating before I started learning how to draw, is whether or not the pose is actually realistic is doesn't really matter. Yo, anime news! I feel there's a place for it, right? Even with these rules, I would agree with him based on the context of what the drawing was supposed to offer, right? But I wouldn't say that's 100% for every single drawing in the world, right? I think that's maybe the problem with critiques. It's you can't take it as literally as never do this thing, ever. It's more you know, in some situations, just consider that it may not be as valid as others. You know what I mean? But how you doing, Anime News RL? How you doing, my dude? How's school? You finals happened in December, right? That's a December thing. I think different parts of the world, they do finals a little weird, you know. They do finals a little weirdly, a little differently than others. Yo, this pose is crazy. I actually like this pose though. This is a nice pose. I got back to UNIV
and I had a Christmas break.
Oh, you had a Christmas break. Nice, nice. Let's go. How was your break? Did you do anything fun? Right, New Year's just happened. That's right, we had Christmas and New Year's. You know, when you're in corporate, these holidays, they don't exist really. Like I took PTO. So I had a break.
Like 2 weeks long, and I just drove the people.
You really don't have these holiday breaks anymore. 2 weeks long? Yo, that's good. Dude, that's crazy good. That's a nice break. I love that for you. You drove for people. That part, I don't know. Do you like driving? I'm not a huge driving fan. So for me, it's like if someone were ever asked me to drive for them, I would just be sad. You know what I mean? But maybe you are you a fan of the driving? Is driving a fun activity for you?
Didn't really get much of a break. Driving is pain.
Driving is pain. Yo, you get me. You're my kin. You understand. I have friends, my brother, he loves to drive. He loves to drive places. My dad loves to drive places. They drive like all the time. I don't know how they do it. Me, I get you, bro. Driving sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to go through that pain. Like, I understand it. I get it. Driving especially when you drive more than like 2 hours, 2 hours, it's like, okay, whatever. But I don't know. Once you get to the 3-hour mark, then it's like, God, I've been in this car with these people for 3 hours. You run out of conversation topics, You run out of like things to say. And it's not the best. I guess it also depends on who you're with. Like sometimes long road trips with the homies is amazing, right? Because there's never a second that's boring. But then sometimes, you get a little tired of the people you're with. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends. It depends on who you're with.
It's not the conversations. It's the traffic happy
Oh,
crying
the
face.
traffic. Bro, I'm sorry. Traffic is stressful. I agree. Dude. And I imagine like some places in the world the
like
traffic is terrible.
20 to 30 kilometers, but TKES an hour and 30.
Oh shit, dude. That's akin to the traffic in my place. I'm sorry. That's terrible. Well, that's crazy if you think about it, right? Like what? So many people with cars? It is kind of crazy. It also like depends on your roads too, right? Like how big your roads are. Yo, when I was in Boston, like the roads were weird. I'd say like most roads in the west or the east coast of the United States like freak me out because some of them are like they're only one-way streets. Because in LA, I think in certain parts of LA there are one-way streets. Like there's roads that you can only go one direction. Oh shit! Is my Nightbot not working?
1.5.
1 sec. 2 lanes and sometimes 1.5. Dude, that's the worst. Wait, why isn't my bot working, huh? What's up with that? Is CloudBot off? It's possible, you guys. I'm gonna fix this real quick. CloudBot. Streamlabs. Wait, actually, Streamlabs offered this new way of opening it that's super fast. Let me see if I can do that. Where's CloudBot, huh? Dashboard? Is it this? Yes, it is. Okay, it's taking a second to load, though. It's taking a hot second. Okay, where are you at, CloudBot? Why are you off? Huh? It is off. What the heck? Sometimes Streamlabs will update CloudBot. It should work now. And it won't tell us. It won't give us a notification or anything. And it just turns itself off. Anyway, thank you for the alert, Cacman. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, my dude. Aren't you streaming right now? I saw you go live. Excuse me. What are you doing? Go back to your stream. But yes, dude, traffic's the worst. I'm sorry you suffered, dude. That's terrible. That is the worst. I hope you got at least some rest in, dude. I mean, I don't know how like excited I would be at the prospect of having to drive somebody like for my break, That's something like you want to avoid during your break. Maybe it's also just me. Like I think about this a lot. A lot of my coworkers, right? A lot of my family members, they talk about like going on vacation as sort of this elusive thing where you go to a place, right, for your vacation to relax. But I feel like, I don't know. Usually when I go to places, I don't really relax. I usually have the opposite experience because you're thinking about, am I gonna make my flight on time? Am I gonna like, I don't know. I have a lot of like kids in my family.
I had a solid 2 days
so
to
it's
get
a
some
lot
rest.
of like
Tried
thinking
out some
of,
Cyberpunk.
oh, is this gonna work? Are these kids gonna get lost? There's a lot of worrying about things that happens when you go on vacations like these. For me, is not that fun. I prefer
Also,
staying
traveling
home.
is stressful.
Also, yeah, like, right, traveling is so stressful. But you had a solid 2 days to get some rest. You know, at least you got some days. Damn, I
Especially
wish
if
you
with
got
other
more.
people.
I wish you got more, dude. That sucks. That sucks. You deserve more days of rest, bro. After any schooling adventure, you deserve days of rest for sure. Dang. I hope you get more days. Maybe next time. Next time you'll get more days. But yeah, traveling with other people is stress for sure. For sure. I travel a lot for work, which is why, like, whenever these vacations come, it's not fun to travel.
Thanks, seems
Because
good.
I do it. Because I do it all the time for work. That now it's like, I don't want to. I already traveled like 5 times. I already went to like 5 different states this year. I don't want to go to like another state for fun. It's work to me. And so for me, it's like whenever someone brings up the prospect of, hey, let's go to this other state for funsies, it's not that fun, guys. You realize you have to go on a plane, you got to go through customs, you got to go to your hotel, and then you spend so much money. It's not fun. It's a hassle. It's such a hassle. You know, sometimes when you're with like homeboys, it's like, it's great, but I don't know. I maybe differing opinions. But you know, my coworkers will sometimes say things like that. You know, I work in elite corporate, so a lot of the people who work at my place are rich. Just prefacing this. So sometimes, you know, a weekend will happen and my coworkers will tell me like, hey, I went to New York this weekend. I went to Dubai this weekend. And I'm like, are you energized for work? You just traveled, bro. You just traveled to a completely different time zone. And you're excited about that? I don't know. I guess for some people it is like exciting. They love to travel. You know the normies? You know the normies? They're like really into that stuff. So they're a huge fan of the traveling. I'm good. I'm good. I think I'm good, guys. Maybe my opinion will change. You know, I maybe if I travel alone, I've been thinking about it. Like, what if I go backpacking or something? Like, I never hike, but imagine if I go backpacking. Will I
Damn,
enjoy
you
it
just
more?
dunked on the normies.
These damn normies. How are they? How do they? Honestly, I'm dunking on them, but really, I'm just astonished on like how strong they are as people. Like how imagine the physical energy you have to be able to travel, right? To be able to travel for 2 days in a week, have a good time, and then come back to work. Like what? What? It's insane to me. I don't know how they do it. I have no idea. But normies, I don't know. They're a different breed. I say normies, but really extroverts. I'm really talking about extroverts here. People who would love to travel and love to talk to people. I think maybe it's just an introvert thing to not wanna. You just get drained faster, you know?
Normies are built different.
Really. Different breed. Normie diff. Is it social diff, I guess, in this case? It's really funny. But I kind of get talking to people. When I was in school, bro. When I was in school, it was funner. It was funner. There was something about making friends with like the people around you and then going to the cafeteria with like a whole group of people. I love that shit. But then when I started going to university, I don't know, part of that died. I think partly because it took me in my college, when I went to a community college before I went to a uni. At my college, my college was like 5 minutes away from my house. It wasn't like I would just walk to college, you know, that's how close it was. But then my uni was like an hour away, an hour and 30 sometimes, depending on traffic. And I would have to drive an hour in the mornings and then drive an hour at night. So the prospect of like hanging out with people got a little bit more difficult because people were just all over the place, right? There were people who were just like 2 hours away from school. People were like sometimes 30 minutes away. They lived in different cities. So it became a lot harder to hang out with people because now you had to drive everywhere. You had to drive to a different city if you want to hang out with someone. And it just wasn't as fun.
University is more stressful. I travel 5 to 6 hours a day to and from.
Oh my god, bro. I'm sorry. It's crazy how that like wears on you too. It really impacts how much fun you have in life. We're realizing this too, right? With everybody wanting to be remote. It's like this
L-U-L-L-U-L-L-U-L.
This change of like finally realizing how much time we used to waste just being on the road, driving to work and stuff. Remote work is the hack for sure. For sure.
The commute is what really drains us.
Truly, right? Truly. I'm glad that's over. Well, people have to go back to work. I've been working remotely for some time now. Well, you know, I was hybrid. I'm hybrid technically.
Father remote is godsend.
But I just don't go to work and nobody says anything, you know? That's my current situation. And, you know, they recently just sent a letter out to like the whole team, like, hey, everybody has to go to work, because I'm not the only one who was just doing this. Like the corporate wanted us all to go back to work, and our managers were just like, nah, we don't want to go to work. Employees, the employees who are under this, if you want to go to work, you can. Nobody's forcing us, really. So nobody did. People just stayed home. And now they're sending a letter. They sent out a letter again, being like, hey, you know, you guys should go back to the office. The office has been open for months now, and nobody is going back. And so let's see what this time is. Will people actually go back? Will people actually want to go back to the office? Because, you know, in LA, for those who don't know, gas is expensive. It's like $6 now for gas. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't want to pay that much for gas. What? Why would I pay that much? You know? And I'm driving an hour.
New
That's
COVID
like
outbreak.
crazy. Yeah, dude, what's the next COVID outbreak? For real, for real. We need it. We need it. Every time, like, I shouldn't say this because it's like sad, right? It's sad. But every time like a new strain comes out, I'm like, you know what? This isn't that bad. If it means like I don't have to go to work.
There's one already.
mean, there is? Okay.
I'm
good.
China.
Oh, in China right now. Ooh, you know, I hear about that. I heard there was like, I mean, every week you hear about a new strain. So you never know. You never know what's actually like something to worry about and when it's just like, yeah, people are dying because the healthcare system sucks. Like, we don't have a really good point of reference of what is actually like bad, because people died from disease anyway. Like, even during the regular flu, people died, right? So we're trying to understand what the standard is. Like, how much death should we really tolerate before it's a outbreak? We're really trying to figure that out. But it sucks, bro. I mean, that's insane. That's insane, dude. But I hope I don't have to go back to work. You always think about yourself in these situations, right? Of like, yeah, it kind of sucks that people are dying, but I want to stay home. I don't want to go to work. But it's crazy to me. Like, there are people who have been going to work even despite COVID, right? The essential workers, our hospital nurse heroes. Those guys are cracked. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they do it. Different breed, for real, for real. My brother's a nurse. One of my brothers. Yeah, I'm the youngest of 5. And he had to go to work every day. He had to go to work regardless of whether COVID was a thing or not. And that's crazy. And he had the night shift. He always has the night shift. I don't know. The guy's another breed. I don't know how he does it. Truly, like, monsters in our society who love going into the office. I don't know. Around sick people too, right? Anyway, I'm not gonna think about this. I'm drawing. I'm an artist, guys. I don't think about this stuff. But yeah, that's crazy to me. But this used to be society. You used to have to go to work. Like, physically. But you know, some places were remote before COVID. Like, I have coworkers who are like, yeah, we've been remote for like months now, or like years now, pre-COVID, because it just doesn't make sense to have to go to work for some jobs. And you know, I work more into the artsy design, 3D modeling space, right? I work on VR projects. Like, that's just the definition of staying home. Because it's you really don't have to go into work. That's like the essence of VR is just like you just work from home. But it's for conferences and stuff, you gotta be in person because that's just conference life. It's actually kind of crazy because there's like the whole thing where conferences went online. And you would think that if conferences are online, that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing that conferences are online because more people have access to it, blah, blah, blah. There's all these stats. And the interesting thing about conferences being online is like that people don't actually pay attention when they're watching a video. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a free conference and you give them like pretty valuable information that they should know, there's a pretty big chance that people aren't actually going to pay attention to there isn't as like much of a retention, a engagement factor
Accurate.
at these conferences when they are hybrid, you know, or when they are online. And I don't know if you guys saw Adobe's conference or went to Adobe Max. Adobe Max was free during COVID, right? And they had Adobe Max and you can go to all these things for free. I watched like Cynix's gun
People
course.
do other things when online.
Yeah, they like don't pay attention fully, or they just like they don't go to a conference at the time that the conference is happening. If it's online, they just watch the VOD. You know, it doesn't make sense to like be there at that specific time. Whereas if it's like in person, people go there at that specific time and they're engaged because they just paid for it. They just paid like hundreds of dollars to be there. You know what I mean? So that engagement factor, I guess, like diminishes whenever it is kind of hybrid, you know? And I joined my company during that time too. So we were like trying to think of like, what are the more unique factors that we can incorporate that make people a little bit more engaged? And, you know, we built our own website. We like used the conference team like setup to have the conference link out to our website that we built, which was way more interactive than the conference's website, you know, that was hosting the conference. And people like, they clicked on it, they came on, but they really wouldn't interact that much. People just don't want to. Even though, you know, these are doctors and they totally should have. It's kind of sus that they didn't, because, you know, they actually get credits and stuff whenever they attend these conferences that they can use for like certifications and things like that. At least in the field that my conferences are at. But they really don't, I don't know. It's not to say they don't care, but they just have better things to do, you know? It's not a priority as much as like, you know, working at your office. Whereas like an actual conference, you travel, there's like this weird effect it has that allows for it to be a little bit more engaging because there's maybe physical people that you're interacting with that even I think VR can't replace one day because it's just not the same. It's not the same. I don't know. Maybe one day like VR chat will have conferences. There will be like a VR chat conference. And maybe if it is time zone locked, people will be a little bit more engaged to participate. But I can't imagine it. I really can't imagine it. And I guess because it hasn't happened before that we can't imagine it. But maybe there's some precedents. Like how do not conferences, but how do concerts in VR do, right? Like didn't what's his face? The guy who made the song Shelter, what was his name? He had a VR concert, right? Does that do better than real life concerts? Because, you know, Hatsune Miku, she has in-person concerts, right? They do like in-person Hatsune Miku concerts sometimes. And it's just like a hologram on a stage usually. But it's still like a light show that people pay to go visit and it's fun.
Porter Robinson.
But Porter Robinson. Do those do as well as the money they put into to make them a thing? You think? You're not sure? I don't know either, dude. I don't know either. It's an interesting case to look at, right? Because it's not a conference. It's not a conference, but it might be close to one, right? It might be an interesting thing to look at. I guess like you also have to think about like it's a VR, right? It's a VR experience. You got to think about hosting it. You got to think about all these additional costs that may not usually be projected, but conferences cost a lot anyway. Because you're renting out a space at a hotel, right? And usually it's a pretty good hotel, or it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a conference space. Where do people have conferences? There's like the one in San Diego that Anime Expo has. It's not a hotel. It's the San Diego Conference Center. They have a lot of conferences there. There's the one at the Staples Center, right? That's like a thing in LA. I've never been to the Staples Center. I have no idea. But I feel like there have been conferences at the Staples Center. Anyway, they do things like that, right? And those spaces are expensive. Those are pricey. I don't know. I don't know what the dealio would be if it ever transitioned to VR. Like, what are the things you would have to look out for? There'll probably be like a whole effort of making sure you're secure and that people can't hack into your devices or your Wi-Fi just because you're at this conference. Like, there's other things you would start having to think about. Anyway, my mind is like all VR, so I think about this stuff. These are the thought experiments I have. These are the things that keep me up at like 2 a.m. at night. And I'm like, shit, I don't want to use my phone, but I'm so curious. I'm so curious what if theoretically we were to have like a conference in VR, what are the things we would have to think about? What are the insurances we would have to make in order to make sure this is the safest conference and the most engaging conference out there, right? Like, how would it work? Because in conferences, right, you have the conference host. To give TwitchCon as an example, you have the conference host, right? And then you got like Intel, Lenovo, you have all these other companies that are sponsors. And they sponsor the conference by buying a space.
Not like this.
Yeah, these are complicated, dude, right? And they sponsor a space they sponsor the conference by purchasing a space, right? And then, you know, they can use that as a tax deductible, whatever. But then they have to create stuff in that space on top of the cost of purchasing that space, right? And in this year's example, to bring up a very shitty example, Intel and Lenovo, they sponsored the ball pit, right? The ball pit that caused like everybody injuries. So I don't know. What would they do in a VR setting? They would probably just go to like a VR developer and be like, "Hey, we want to do a thing at the space that we bought." And then how would you organize costs? Like, does the space matter in VR? Like, would everybody have the same cost of booth size if it's all just a VR experience? Like, would you measure it based off of gigabyte size? Like, how would you measure that? Because you could really have a huge space, but then because you've retopologized your models, because you've really made it more what's the word? It's God, there's a word for it. Optimized? There you go. That's the word I was looking for. Your size limits are actually a lot smaller because your textures are better, etc., depending on how you texture things and things like that. But then it's like you could have a huge space with a lot of activities because you went with a VR studio that is able to really minimize your file sizes. Or do you go with like, do you really do measure it based off space? But then how do you measure space in a virtual environment? Anyway, this stuff is cool to me. Like these questions, right? And I don't think there's ever been an actual like really big thought out VR conference, has there? I could be wrong about that, and I just haven't heard about them because nobody's really, I don't know, nobody's really done one. Maybe they have again, and I just haven't been in the know, in the now. I could Google it. I could Google it. Wait. Okay, Google. Has there been a virtual reality conference?
Here's what I found on the web. Here's a result from search.
It didn't give me anything. God damn it, Google. I wanted you to give me a result. I have OK Google now, guys. I can ask it questions. But it's a little glitchy because, you know, Google Assistant isn't on your PC. It's usually on your phone. The problem is like whenever I ask it questions that don't have like a basic easy answer, it'll like give me a website to go to instead to like look it up because it's Google. It's just looking things up. But the problem is on the desktop version, it doesn't actually show me what it's found. It says like, oh yeah, you can go over here. You can go here and you can find it. But it's just blank. There's like nothing I can look at. It's just black. It's just a black screen. Yo, Kiko, what is up, my dude? How's it going? I'm talking about VR. Which I always do, strangely. Like recently, I've been so into it. There's this tide at my company, right? I work as, God, what is my job? It's so hard to say. Last year I was promoted to be a senior media specialist, is what they call it. That's the job title that they call it. And what it essentially means is a person who does like, I do motion design, I do graphic design, I do animation, you know, and I do AR VR, right? And the reason why my title changed is because when I first started at the company, I was making AR experiences a lot more frequently. But then we switched and we stopped doing them because people weren't like that engaged in them. And then we went back. And now we're going back. So I'm thinking about AR VR again because we're finally going back to building out some of these experiences. So it's on my head. It's on top of mind. So I keep talking about it. I keep like on my off time, I'm just researching like what are cool VR things people are doing nowadays. How am I going to bring it into a conference setting? But anyway, hey guys, what's up? That's what's up with me. That's how I am. I just can't stop thinking about tech, dude. New tech is so cool. Do you guys know that holograms are a thing? Holograms are so cool. What is up, Jack? How you doing? The hologram technology is like insane to me. It's like so accessible now too. I'm like tempted. I'm tempted to buy like, there's these fans you can buy, right? There's like these fans that they spin really fast that they create a light that projects out of them, and you can have a hologram and you can actually plug it into your computer, and there's a program you could use that allows you to actually like create your own holograms on that fan. And I've been thinking about it. They're like $100, so it's not like that expensive, right? It's not that expensive. The program's a little bit more expensive. The program's actually more expensive than the device itself. But you can purchase one of these devices and do like a hologram. And I was thinking about it, right? I was thinking about it in theory. You know how like people like Hololive, Nijisanji, V Shoujo, whenever they go to these conferences, right? They go to AX and stuff. And they have these meet and greets, these talks. And the way that a lot of these meet and greets are presented is like you have the liver and they're on a TV screen. But imagine if they were on a hologram. Because it's like pretty accessible. It's like, I think for the bigger sets, the life size sets, they're like $300 because you have to buy 3 fans, like at least 3 fans, because they're pretty big. And you set them up, and you have to get. That's what I'm saying. Saying. Wouldn't that be so cool? I think they gotta do it. I'm like so upset that they haven't yet. There's like so many other ways they could do it. They don't even have to do holograms. They could do projection mapping, maybe. Maybe they can have like those translucent. These are a little bit more expensive because they're like special tapered glass. But they can have like the glass and a projector that projects onto that glass, and they can actually move around in 3D. Now, there's certain factors they have to account for. They probably have to redo their models. I don't know how well the software works in terms of mocap and making their model move at the same time, right? In a hologram space. Usually what I've seen in the past has been like people just pre-recorded and then put on a hologram. That's what I've seen in the past, right, at conferences. I think it'd be so cool if we could figure out like, maybe you can actually integrate it with Maya, or you can integrate it with Unity, right? Depending on what they're using for their mocapping. And then just have that instead of just being on a computer screen. Anyway, I think it's super cool. It's super cool technology, and it exists, guys. It exists in the world today, but people aren't. I think like there's a gap. There's like this gap between it's a different perspective, by the way. I like got lost in talking, and it's a different pose now. There's like a gap between, I think, the VTuber entertainment space and accessing really up-to-date technology. You could say this in the corporate world too, but when it comes to VR, AR, this technology has been around for almost 10 years now, but people are just not using it because they don't find the need to use it given how much it actually costs to build out some of these things, because they can be pretty expensive, right? So to justify the cost, you really have to like find the right industry where it works, you know? I don't think people have found that just yet. Though, you know, what's really interesting to me is that print label companies for like wineries and stuff, they use AR all the time now, right? Cereal companies, you know, Procter & Gamble, those guys, they use AR all the time for a lot of their cereal brands. Now it's not VR, it's AR. But also like Sephora has been using AR for a number of years, and it's so cool. It's so cool. I want more companies to use it, because then if more people use it, it's like it becomes more, there's more of a, how should I say it? Like a demand for making it as accessible as possible. It is already pretty accessible. It's pretty easy to start learning how to do AR with programs like Sparks AR on Instagram, Lens Studio on Snapchat, you know, because they have their own AR softwares that they use in order to integrate it into Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. Or you could use Zapworks. I use Zapworks all the time. Zapworks is so easy to use, guys. If you ever get a chance, I think Zapworks also gives you like free projects, which is like the why I prefer it. There's also 8th Wall, right? When it comes to AR or web AR, which is what I do a lot. It's so fun. Anyway, I could talk about this stuff for hours. I love AR. AR is so good. It's so cool. And guys, I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know how good it's gonna be in the future. I don't know. Like, you never know about this stuff. Like, we thought AR, VR, all this stuff would kick up and be super popular now, but it still isn't, right? VR is still like in its infantry stages. Like, they just came out with the new Vive, is that how you pronounce it? Headset. It's like okay. It's not that good. There's still some improvements they could do. It's an improvement on the last model, but they're still working on making it accessible for the consumer side. I think when it comes to VR, they've like definitely made strides on making it like nice for developers. Like, I think they've made it so easy for developers nowadays, for people to like who know nothing about AR, VR, to actually start making AR, VR projects. But now they're on this gap of like figuring out how to get consumers onto devices, because they're still like pricey, they're still like inconvenient. I think they're still like annoying to put on, especially when it comes to VR. AR, definitely a lot more accessible, but you have to hope people scan QR codes because web AR is a thing. But web AR is like so limited compared to like app-based AR. And AR's workspace would be a great space saver, dude. Yeah. I think that's like the downside, is you could probably achieve a workspace if you had an app-based AR experience. But people don't want to download apps, so we have to figure out how to do it on the web. And web AR exists, but web AR is so limited. You can't do, at least I haven't seen an experience yet where people have done like a browser-based sign-in login where you can sign into something using WebGL, have an AR experience, where maybe you use the Google Glasses or whatever you want to use, and you can have like a workspace in AR that remembers what you've done in the past. That aspect of it hasn't been done before. Usually these AR experiences are very short and they don't rely on remembering where you last left off. And I think that's like something we could definitely tap into, you know? That's something that we could definitely, improve on. And who knows, maybe 2023 is the year, guys. We say it every year. We say it every year that it's gonna get better, but it's still a thing that's happening. And that's like outside of my field of expertise even. Like I don't do like innovative development when it comes to AR. I just use the tools that already exist, I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough to do that stuff. Yeah, dude, tech is insane. But it can still be better. I think that's the thing. Like, there's just minor things that are so inconvenient in AR, in VR,
we were amazed by phone
that
VR
are so,
a few years back.
That are so like, I don't want to say, I don't know what to call it, but it could still be like improved to where it feels convenient to use, And I don't know what the answer to that would be. I mean, that's the thought experiment people are having at like Apple and Google, right? Of like, what are we doing wrong here? Why aren't people using these technologies as frequently as like
now
they're using mobile devices?
The size of glasses.
Dude, yeah, isn't that crazy? That's insane. Anyway, I love this stuff, dude. This stuff is so good. This stuff is so good. I wish I knew more.
Get there eventually.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely the question of just when. When will it happen?
Seems good. Seems good.
It depends when it will happen. And I can't wait. I'm so impatient, dude. I want it to be now. But maybe it's like good that it's not yet now, because like there aren't that many people in the industry, right, who are that like interested in AR and VR. So it's like a good way to get your foot forward, get started before everybody else.
I'll be happy if I get it in my lifetime, LUL.
Yo, let's go. It'll happen in your lifetime. It must. It must. Anyway, I say this all while drawing. It's so cool, guys. What other technology stuff exists now? I can't like flying cars are a thing, though they're still like working on it. Again, like commercializing it, right? Isn't there like hydrogen cars or something? Cars that run on water? That's like a thing that happens or a thing that exists. I'm trying to think of like what other cool tech things are though. Like when it comes to entertainment, right? Because the other engineering stuff is pretty cool too. But I don't imagine myself being that interested in them to ever be taking part of those development structures. But when it comes to art, 3D modeling, things like that, what other technological advancements could there be made or are being made at this moment that we could like, I don't know, be amazed over? I don't actually know, because they don't teach this shit at school, right? I think in my school, there was like some semblance of a teacher working on a VR project on one of the 3D classes. Dude, it wasn't like a crazy VR project. It was like a 360 video. This is back when GoPros came out, right? And everybody started buying GoPros. People were making 360 videos left and right. And this was, gosh, 8 years ago? This was like when I was in high school. Which is, oh god, this is math. Actually, this is more than 8. This is almost 10 years ago. Oh my god. And then when drones happened, people started buying drones, but that's like old tech now. It's crazy to say old, it's only 10 years old, but it's still insane. It's still insane. Insane stuff. I think like 360 videos are becoming more and more commonplace though. Like what is it? Didn't Otto, famous musician, what is it, Utaete? Is that what they call it? Famous Japanese musician, cover artist who now makes her own music and is an amazing singer. She had a VR music video once, and I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. Now, I think I also make a lot of 360 videos at work, but they're really just like video editing. There isn't so much of an interactive piece to these 360 videos, so I think to a consumer it's really interesting. But then when I think of it as like an engaging type of experience, it's lacking because it's just a video, right? It's just a video that you can like turn it around and look at it in 360. I think there's like an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to like make videos a little bit more engaging, you know? Maybe like, I don't know how it would work in the music industry because music is really predefined by the minutes that you're given, right? Maybe like having your own choose your own adventure type of thing when you're playing a video. This has nothing to do with AR or VR, by the way. This is just regular, this is basic video tech type of stuff. I remember people were making these types of videos back in, I don't know, a couple of years ago on YouTube, where they would make YouTube videos that you can interact with. And essentially the way they would do it is they would have a playlist that's like kind of privated. And as you're watching a video, it'll give you like these choose your adventure type of annotations that you can click which way you want to go. But imagine if they could do that in a music video. Wouldn't that be cool?
Short 360 movie where you can have a different experience each time depending on what you look at.
Dude, right? Wouldn't that be sick? That would
the
be
Mark
cool.
iPlayer vids are hella poppers.
Oh yeah, you've seen them? They're pretty good. They're pretty good. A lot of people used to do them. They don't do them anymore. I mean, I guess it's a hassle, and like YouTube has somehow I remember there was a period on YouTube. I remember there was a period on YouTube where you couldn't actually disable annotations. Like, it wasn't really easy to disable them. And now it's a lot easier to disable them and never have them ever again, because it's like based off of whether or not you use annotations, blah, 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 all that stuff. So it's not, I guess people just don't do it anymore because it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. But it's like so cool. Dude, right? The heist, the space one. Oh, it's so cool. So cool. And they're just more interactive. They're just, I don't know. They're just cool shit. I think we should do more of them. And what's crazy to me is YouTube doesn't endorse it really. Like, YouTube doesn't endorse the creation of these videos. Like, if you can somehow have a video player that actually innately endorses having the option to play certain scenes based off of you clicking on them or not, I think that'd be so cool, right? That'd be so cool. I was actually looking into this when it came to when I was working on my portfolio. This was like a couple of years ago. My portfolio is not updated. My portfolio has like all my old like college projects and stuff. I need to update that shit, dude. Anyway, when I was looking into my portfolio, I wanted to put like 3D projects on my portfolio. This was a couple of years ago, guys. And I was looking into a way to have it so that whenever somebody's looking at my portfolio, they can actually interact with like the 3D objects that I've created and like spin them around. You know how in Sketchfab, nowadays when you go on Sketchfab, you can actually turn 3D models around and look at it from all angles? I was looking for a way to do that on my portfolio page. Right, so it was like web design. I had to figure out how to code that in. You know, there's this whole process on figuring out how to do it. I think it's so cool. Why doesn't YouTube have that? I don't get it. Why doesn't YouTube have like this thing where you could do that? I feel like that's just like, I know YouTube's probably working on a lot of stuff. I shouldn't like ask for it. I shouldn't ask for like hundreds of things. They'll get to it eventually. It's probably just not on their list of priorities on all the other stuff they could add to their platform. But I just think it'd be cool. A nice, cool ad.
YouTube used to be more free.
For what you can do. YouTube used to be more free. I can feel that. Everything feels really like...
Then they were bought KEKW.
They were bought. That's true. Who owns it now? Which company owns YouTube now? Is it Google? Right? Google owns YouTube. Am I tripping? I feel like Google owns YouTube. Which is owned by Alphabet, right? I'm trying to like think of my company knowledge, my really brief company knowledge. Yeah, it is Google. Let's go. I had a feeling. Right, because you can log in with your Google. Okay, yeah. I recall this. I'm recalling the thing. Who was YouTube owned by before? Was it owned by anybody or
Mystic 342
or was it like, was it just owned by themselves? Yo, Fluffy, what is up, my dude? You miss Easy? I miss you too, Husky. How's it going? What's up? You were playing League yesterday, but no, you were playing Rainbow Six Siege. Was that yesterday? Because time zones are a little weird. It was technically today for me, because it was like at 4 a.m. in the morning for me. I caught a little bit of it. Was that yesterday? Or was that 2 days ago? The times are weird, dude. I don't know. Was it 2 days ago? What time is it? I don't know. You know, when you don't sleep, time really blends together after a while, and you forget. You forget like what is real and what isn't. And lack of sleep does that to you sometimes. Anyway, what's up, Husky? How you doing? We're talking about
Last
weird shit.
thing I played was Aliens Fireteam Elite. Been
Oh,
having
shit.
fun blasting
Let's
aliens.
go.
Jinxed smirk.
Aliens Fireteam Elite. Oh shit, let's go. How's that game? Do you like it? We're having fun blasting some aliens. That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. What? Is it like a shooter game? Or is it like... Is it that three-quarter shooter game? Or is it like the first-person FPS type game? I don't think I've heard of it before. Have I? It sounds kind of familiar. Aliens sounds familiar to me. Just the word alien, which is a pretty common term in the English dictionary nowadays. Because I feel like most games are about aliens. But I can't remember if it's like... if I've actually heard of it before.
YouTube was launched by small group, forgot their name sadly. Third D-person horde shooter 3-player co-op.
Oh shit! Third-person horde shooter 3-player
If you know
co-op.
the Aliens franchise.
If I know the Aliens franchise. I know Alien Swarm. I know that's a game. Is that the same thing? YouTube was launched by a small group who forgot their name. Sag. F to that small group. I hope they're doing good. I hope they're having a jolly old time. I hope they got a good deal for selling YouTube. Damn. Damn, isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy, dude? Just that thought freaks me out. Like, I guess like it's a good deal for them, right? They don't have to upkeep it anymore and they sell the company for billions of dollars. And they're like set for life, dude. They're set for life. They can work on their personal projects now. Maybe YouTube was their personal project. Wouldn't that be crazy? Maybe they're like teaching people how to make YouTube. They are making YouTube videos on how to make YouTube.
Big shiny X Xenomorph so.
Oh? What are you... Did Google? What are you searching for, Google? Why did you suddenly pick me up?
I did an image search for Atari Breakout.
What? Google. No, stop. Stop listening to me. What?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Jujol, for some reason, picked me up when I said
Watching you
Google.
draw is mesmerizing. A fluff
For
11
some
derp
reason,
husky shake.
it decided to pick me up and record what I was saying. I wasn't asking for your help, Google, okay?
Hey Google, who is the greatest god?
Should I ask Google that?
The
Hey,
answer
Google,
should be EZ.
am I cool? Don't dox me.
This came back from a search. Here's what I found.
It gave me nothing. It gave me absolutely nothing. Hey, yo, you like watching me draw? Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm drawing a ground plane right now. You know, I want to get better at this. I want to get better at understanding grounds, perspective, and drawing characters in perspective. And I don't know if this means I have to start drawing or learning perspective a little better. I took a... I don't know if you guys know him. He's like pretty popular in the art field. His name is Marshall Vandruff. He's like the perspective god. He does a lot of videos with Proco now. If you guys don't know Proco, he's like a really popular YouTube artist or artist on YouTube, art teacher on YouTube. He's been doing a podcast recently with Marshall Vandruff, who is like one of the more legendary how do you pronounce that word? Academic art teachers that used to teach at Art Center, you know, all that stuff. And he has this like $12 perspective course that you can get that like was a recording of one of his old lectures back in the day where he kind of talks about perspective and stuff. It's pretty cool. I watched it, I went through it, and it was a really good perspective course. I didn't retain a lot of it. I think I like retained like the first few, the easy sections, like the first few sections where he kind of talks about it. But then I never got around to like the end game stuff that were like, let's do 5-point perspective. You know, I kind of blinked out at those types of things. And I don't think I ever got to the point where I understood really how to draw things in perspective. You know, like inorganic shapes, I think I generally understand. But when it comes to people, my mind is like blanks. My mind becomes like zero brain cell. I like start drooling. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think I'm like a brute force person anyway. Like I can't learn things unless I just do them. You know, I can absorb all this knowledge as much as I want, but I don't retain any of it because my memory is shit. So I just have to do it. I just have to do it to understand. To understand, you know? That's what I'm up to. That's what I'm up to, dude. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is like, What to do? How do I become a god? So that's what I want to know. I think perspective is crazy. I think it's like definitely a good skill to learn. There's also like Scott Robertson's How to Draw. Scott Robertson, also another god artist who is alive right now and has a YouTube channel you guys can check out if you're an artist and you're looking for a good mentor, a good teacher. He's like another god from Art Center who he still draws on his YouTube channel. He still like puts out courses every now and then.
I become 2 brain cell whenever I see you, Shrekker 2 swag.
You become 2 brain cell when you see me. Excuse me, Kiko. I do too. When I see myself in the mirror, I suddenly lose all brain. My hope is like I will eventually have at least 3 brain cells, you know? That's my hope. But so far we're at maybe 1.5. Because, you know, I have to think about what's going on. I gotta think about the stream too. You know, it is harder. I understand. I understand, like, there are other streamers, art streamers out there who just don't talk when they stream. And honestly, that's a good idea. If you're an art streamer, don't talk when you're streaming. I learned this the hard way, right? Because I started doing like actual studies, or I tried doing studies right on stream, and they were like the most incoherent studies. Like I didn't remember anything from them. They were just pointless. They were just pointless studies, you know? It didn't really help me. But then when I started just doing figure drawing on stream, I'm not actually learning anything from doing this, guys. This is just mindless doodling on a page. Really, this is a just chatting stream. This isn't an art stream, guys. You have been fooled. You have been fooled by the art tag you see down below on the left side of your screen. This is actually just a just chatting stream. Get absolutely juked.
But I like hearing you while you draw the
art is just visual stimulus.
UWU.
But personally, I'm not learning anything by doing any of this. Yo, Sauce, what is up, my dude? How's it going? Yo, you love to hear me while I draw? Thanks. But I'm telling you, this is a just chatting stream. This is really just a just chatting stream because I'm not learning anything. I'm not learning anything by doing this. But I love to talk, you know? I love to say stupid shit on stream. It's fun. It's like a fun, good time. I mean, let's be real. Everybody who streams feels this way. It's like a nice outlet of just like talking about absolutely nothing. Training your abilities of improvisation and the lulls. Because that's why we're here. To make you guys laugh. I don't know, other people are here for different reasons. But that's why I am here. To figure out what stupid shit I can say and get away with. And let me know if it's working. Because that's really, you know, positive feedback. I learned by getting a critique, right?
I don't remember who I watched, but I've become a god at chest physics, sweet M56 girly
Oh
pop.
shit, really? Yo, let's go. What does that even mean? God at chest physics? At like, in live 2D? In animation? In what context? Just like in general? You learn a lot from streamers, guys, I'm telling you. Very educational content. Do I learn anything from streaming? No. No, I don't. But do you learn anything from watching streamers? Maybe. Maybe it's like a thing. You could sign up to their Gumroad courses, right? Their 30-day free trials on Skillshare. And I'm sure you're gonna learn something. I'm sure there's a lesson here. Guys, there's a lesson. There's a lesson hidden in every corner of your life. You just kind of have to squint sometimes, turn your head 90 degrees. Is that possible? 45 degrees? I don't think 90 is possible. I think 90 is like, if you can turn your head 90 degrees exactly, you should see a doctor. Because that is a worrisome. But you know, you can turn your head 45 degrees. And if you squint hard enough, you might see a lesson somewhere in these videos, in these live streams. I'm still looking for it. But if you figure it out, let me know. Let me know. And I will agree with you. Because I think you're correct. Anyway. I wish I was a god at chest physics. You know how hard boobs are draw? You can rotate your head 83 degrees? Seriously? Is that a thing you can do? Hey, Google.
Okay, maybe 60.
How far can a person rotate their head?
Canada is 1,618 miles away.
Okay, Google.
As the crow flies.
Okay, Google, stop. What? Google, stop. Why Canada?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Why was it? I don't want to hear about Canada. Okay, whatever. Google can't tell me. Maybe I'll Google it. Maybe I'll actually Google it. How far can my head turn? You know, Google Assistant. Why did you tell me about Canada? How far does your head rotate? Let me tell you here. What? Oh wait. This is how far an owl's head can turn. It was like 180 degrees. Like no. Human. A human. For reference, I'm on Quora right now. My chiropractor explained. Wait, no. No. We can side flex our heads 50 degrees towards either shoulder. Wait, it's 50 degrees? I never knew that. Nod our heads forward 50 degrees or rock your heads back 40 degrees, nose upward. This assumes the neck injury had no injury or age. What? The neck has had no injury or age-related problems. I see. I did not read that correctly. As our necks do become stiffer with age or injury. One should not pull one's head by the hands. This neck stiffness protects the cervical column and nerves, is what Quora says. Thank you, Quora, for educating me. Because I did not know that. I did not know that fact. You know, I love learning things, guys. It's why I brought the Google Assistant on board, but Google Assistant is just not doing its job properly. You know, maybe Google Assistant needs to be fired. Or maybe if I was like a little bit better, if I like knew development a little bit better, you know, I would be able to like fully customize Google Assistant to actually do my bidding. Like it wouldn't be called Google Assistant, it'd be called something cooler, you know? Like it'd be called
Google Assistant
what would it be called?
comes to work drunk.
Google Assistant really does. You know, and can you blame Google Assistant? Can you really blame him? Can you really blame Google Assistant's an AI, right? It's an AI. It learns based off what you ask it, or is it like I don't know what the technological term is. It's a AI assisted software. I'm assuming it could be a little better. How long has Google Assistant existed and they still don't have a desktop version for it? That's weird. I mean, they have Cortana. But Cortana sucks, dude. Cortana's terrible. Cortana doxes me. I don't want to be doxed. And I can't turn off location services on Cortana for some reason. It still doxes me. I don't know why. Cortana's just sus like that. Google Assistant's a little nicer. So I've realized Google Assistant can actually dox me too. Certain questions will for some reason say my location. Like you guys, I stopped Google Assistant. There was a reason I was in a rush to stop Google Assistant when it started talking about Canada, because it was doxing my location by telling me how far Canada is from my location. Now, it was like thousands of miles, so you probably wouldn't have guessed. Unless you're like really good at math, and you guys know I'm in LA anyway. So it's like not that big of a deal. But still, it's like, Google.
Cortana
Google.
is just very sussy.
What the fuck? Cortana is just sussy. She really is. Cortana, I mean it really is. Is Cortana gendered? Cortana, I guess, is like, has a female voice, but you can actually change it to be a female voice, quote unquote, male voice, quote unquote, whatever that may mean. Anyway. I love these boxes. I know this is random. I love drawing boxes. Maybe boxes are the problem though. I don't know. I've been trying to figure out like, what is the better way to draw forms to where they actually look 3D. I guess the idea is with overlapping shapes,
I
you can
have
get
a
this
streamer
illusion
friend that had someone figure out where they live from a picture of clouds outside their window. Like random shit like that.
Seriously?
Some
that's
people
crazy
AF.
That's insane, dude. I wish I had that power. That sounds kind of crazy. I like barely know where half the states in the United States are. Yeah. You know, like this person must like know their shit. That's pretty insane. Yo, I heard about that. Wasn't there like a thing with Shia LaBeouf? And like he had like the Just Do It thing or something like that, but then he was like in a room. I'm like vaguely remembering this. He did a thing where he was in a room and then he had like something set up in a room, and then people were able to, on 4chan, were able to figure out where this room was by triangulating. Like, triangulate is just a random word I just threw out there. It's a buzzword. I don't know what it means. By triangulating how the sun was like coming into that room, they were able to figure out the exact location of where that room was. I mean, that's just crazy. That's just insane. I don't know how people do that. Like, shouldn't you be like, if you have this skill, right? If you have this skill like in the world, shouldn't you be like helping people find like kidnapped children, you know? Or like helping detectives find like lost kids in the world?
Yeah,
I feel like there's probably better ways.
And went crazy.
Dude, yeah, 4chan was insane. I don't know how they do it. Like, just imagine. Like, I get the appeal. It's like fun. It's like so detective. But like, you could probably use that on a more useful thing in the world than stalking Shia LaBeouf. You know what I mean? Like, why? Why is my question? Why is... I just don't get it. Like, imagine a job you would have. How big brain you could be, like, as a detective or something. Working for the CIA or whatever. If you have that ability. That would be so cool. You would be like a superhero in the real world. You know what I mean? Just insane. And you'd be rich, I imagine. You'd probably be like wealthy. It's a crazy skill to have. I don't know. I feel like those powers...
And yet they just use it to be shrimpy and creepy.
Right? Like, what the heck? What the heck is wrong with you guys? Please, use it to save the world.
Yosh,
we're counting on you.
This song is hella familiar.
Yo, Mappy!
I think I've used this on stream before.
Yes, this is... You know who this is. You know who this is, Mappy. You use the same BGM by our boy Sharou? Sharou? I don't know how to pronounce his name. How you doing, Maffy? How's it going, my dude? The god Catboy is in chat right now.
Oh, Sharou.
Sharou! Yeah, you get it. I think I have a command for it. If I do exclamation mark music... If I do exclamation mark music, there you go.
I'm doing fine.
There you go. I don't know if the first one's accurate, because I changed my intro, but I think it's accurate. I changed my intro song, not recently. It's been a while. Like, halfway last year. I really need to change the songs. I haven't touched like changing any of the music in a while. It's so good. Hey, you're doing fine. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, my dude. I'm glad you're doing okay. I'm glad you're doing okay. I'm excited. I get excited every time Matthew streams. I don't know. Guys, Matthew's a streamer that you should check out.
Lots of new
I just like
VTubers.
get hype. Oh, yo, lots of new VTubers. Yo, did you guys see?
All of them.
Oh shit!
Breakdown.
You're getting new VTuber children? Is this for Visakai? Oh my gosh, tell me the tea. I want to know. If you can. I know some projects are secret.
Is it because I yell a lot?
Is it because you yell a lot? I don't know why. I just like your streams. I wonder why I like watching your streams.
3 new children.
Yo, you got 3 new kids. Let's go. That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. I love that. Love that for you. Wow. Wow. Maffy has more VTuber kids.
Model.
Oh, you worked on a Friends model. That's cool too. Wholesome. Let's go.
He started streaming recently.
Hey, yo. That's awesome, dude. Wow. Dude, I'm in full support of people streaming. Like, I was talking about this with a friend.
Mathic breakdown.
But streaming is like...
Mathic breakdown.
So
Mathic
good.
breakdown. Gotta finish them all by February. I'm dying.
Oh, shit. February? That's soon, bro. Are you gonna be okay? You got this, gamer. Holy shit. That's insane. I'm assuming their debut's in February then. For Visakai. That's cool. Visakai, by the way, is a cool name. I never got the chance to say it when you guys did your thing, but I think it's a cool name. It's just, I don't know. There's just something so catchy about it. I don't know what Sakai means. Is that world? V world? Is that what it means? Because it's cool.
Thanks,
it's so cool.
Mathic Pet.
It's so cool. Hey, yo, I got you. That's cool. Freaking can be fun.
Virtual world.
Hey, yo, virtual world. Let's go. Wow, you're drawing and rigging them, right?
L peeps KEKW.
Hey, you know...
Makes no sense, I know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's the semantics, dude. It's the you just have... You know, when you say V world, you're just saying that you have a person for everybody. Because, you know, there's people who don't prefer VTubers.
I like the SPAT GIF. 3.
Oh, you like the Easy Pat GIF? That was made by the legendary mod, Kiko Nonogram. The ultra Chad man, Kiko McLovin III, made this GIF over here. And he's a god. Thank you, Kiko. It will stay in this corner forever. Maybe I'll move around a little bit. Maybe in the future it'll be like on top of my head or something. We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it. It's a nice GIF. You have one too, though. You have the Maffy Pat. Do I have the Maffy Pat? I think I do. Do I not?
Greater than.
You know, I have this problem where I have to scroll
Maffy.
to actually get to like people's emotes because I have so many subs.
I spilled some tea. Kiko hits on everyone outside of this channel. Mafik pet. Hey Kiko.
Kiko hits on everyone outside of this channel. I have seen Kiko hit on people outside of this channel. It is true. It is true. It is an undeniable fact. His shrimping... What is it? His shrimping limits know no bounds.
I can confirm that.
I think we all... It's like the thing where you're like, you have that one friend who's a pimp.
Lol.
You have that one friend who's just a pimp.
A lot of people. But same.
Ayo, but same. Lamau. Hey man, when you shrimp in one person's chat, you just don't... You don't shrimp.
As well, sometimes sweet M56
you don't,
head pat.
You don't shrimp and tell, okay?
LMAO a pimp friend.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is Kiko. He mods for like 20 people or something. Kiko is absolutely cracked. I don't know how he does what he does. He's a legend. You know, I take tips from Kiko.
Unstoppable Riz Shrekker 2 swag.
Yes, let's go. Oh my gosh, Kiko. I believe it. If there's anybody in chat that has Riz, this word that has for some reason taken off on TikTok, it's Kiko. Undeniably, it is Kiko. Are there any new... Kiko teaches me so much, by the way. Kiko taught me Riz. Kiko taught me L plus ratio. I think it was Kiko. It might have been Charlie, actually. Sorry, Kiko. It wasn't you. But you know, I learned a lot with this guy in chat. He's just a god. He's just a god. So if you guys ever think of like new TikTok terms, please teach me. Because I don't use TikTok. I want to though. I just like fear. I've heard people have told me the horror story of like using TikTok and then just never getting off of it because it's so addicting. So I do fear a little bit getting addicted to this platform because I'm already addicted to Twitter. I do this on Twitter, right?
Sometimes
I had to recently...
you only work with normies, so you don't know the newest trends all the time.
This is the thing, guys. Once you're out of college, right? Once you're out of like the environment where you're hanging out with people in your like age group, you have to really go put in the effort to find out all the new stuff, all the new trends, all the new tweets and stuff. You know, you have to figure all this stuff out on your own. And you know, sometimes it's just not worth it, so you don't do it. You know, like why? I'm just not gonna research this stuff, you know? Why should I? So I'm counting on you guys to teach me, to humor me, really. with the new up and coming memes and trends and things like that. Because I don't have the platform. I mean, sure, I'm on Twitter, but I don't like follow these things. On Twitter, I just like follow artists. I've been using Pinterest a lot too, which is another platform that doesn't have memes really. It just has good art. Anyway, I don't have an excuse for this, guys. There's no real excuse for not knowing memes in the 21st century, but this is my reason for why I'm not as cultured as I used to be. I know the old stuff.
Just exploit a young Gen Z who's down with the new hip terms.
It's you guys. You guys are my young Gen Zs who are down with the new terms. I'm counting on you.
I am reclusive, I do not have culture.
You're a recluse, you don't have culture. Lamau.
EZ quick spams artists. Instant RTs on my timeline wall from EZ.
I'm sorry. I do this. I like worry about it sometimes too. I'm like, should I really be spamming? Because here's the thing I do too. It's like if there's an artist I really like, right? I will go into their page, I'll go to their media tab, and I'll like every single thing that they have on their media tab. And I'll just scroll down infinitely until I reach the very bottom of all the posts that they have. Am I being weird? I worry about this sometimes. I worry about this with like VTubers I watch too, because I do the same exact thing. I hope they don't think I'm like stalking them, because after I like all their posts, I like forget who they are and their names. Yeah, you are, Kiko. That's right. Get wrecked by Nightbot. But it is true. But it is true. I cannot deny it. I cannot deny this fact. I just like art, guys. Art is so good. Artists are so good, dude. And they deserve the heart. They deserve the heart. Sometimes I worry that Twitter might think I'm a bot because of how much I do it, you know? It might think that I'm like just a bot. Ooh. I don't want to get banned on Twitter. I don't know. I don't want my Twitter account to be banned. That sucks.
I think we should all go do this to
No, please do not.
Posts.
My old posts are ass, dude. After a certain... Like, I have had my Twitter account for a very long time. So you will probably scroll down. You can scroll down and probably find...
Simp.
Excuse me! Keiko! That is a nice amendment, and I approve. I think that is a hilarious amendment. I
Damn
approve of
right,
it.
greater than sad face.
But yeah, you can actually scroll down enough on my Twitter to like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago to when I started my Twitter account, where I am tweeting during one of the League of Legends esports events, one of the world's events. And I'm commenting about how people were complaining on Twitch chat about how Faker did not take boots as Cassiopeia. This is like one of my first posts on Twitter. I made a Twitter account specifically for this post, so I remember it like it was yesterday. And I drew Cassiopeia with boots on her hands because you don't get boots as Cassiopeia. And I was adding people for it. It did not get any likes because it's my first Twitter account. I had 0 followers.
Can't imagine.
Because, I used to be a toxic League of Legends player who used to play League all the time. Anyway, good times. And then I never used my Twitter account for like another year or so after that. And then I started posting.
Aurelian can have boobs.
Don't you love that? Can he really? Can he really? It does not make sense. It does not make sense.
You didn't get any likes because they weren't ready for the truth.
You're right, Sauce. That was it. Easy was toxic. I actually was not very toxic. I don't think I've ever really been toxic when it comes to a game.
Learning things about EZ this stream.
Because, I'm the youngest of 5. You guys know this. I have 5 other siblings. And 3 of my 4 other siblings are gamers, right? My sister isn't a gamer. My 2 other brothers kind of game. My 2 older brothers, and then my one brother who's 1 year younger than me
is so nice now is because she used all her
they all play games. But actually, the reason why I feel like I'm not very toxic is because I started gaming when I was really young, right? I was like a child, a wee lass. But also my siblings were very toxic when they played games, and that annoyed me.
Damn FR though.
I was always like the person they would hate, or like not hate on, but they would be toxic towards because I wasn't as good at games. But I don't think I was necessarily toxic in games. I was pretty okay. I think I mauled it. I definitely mauled it a lot more when I was younger than I do now. Sometimes I mauled now though. An occasional mauled. It's good for your health. It's cathartic to mauled on occasion. But I don't think I do as much anymore. Because who cares? It's a game. Who cares, dude? I've passed the phase of caring about video games. Because now I work. Guys, now I have a job. And I value the time I spend on the world. So I don't care. I just don't care. It's great. And I urge, maybe one day, I hope for all the toxic gamers on League, in League of Legends, in Apex Legends, in Valorant, to one day also reach this point of despair. This point, maybe not despair. Maybe that's
like
maybe not a good way of phrasing it, but this point of life where they just don't care. They don't care about games.
The cope in her voice.
The cope, Lamau.
Man just used copium card.
I used the copium card. Is this copium? Is this what copium means?
Mathic lol, mathic lol, mathic lol, mathic lol, mathic lol.
Really, I was trying to pull the card of there are more important things in the world than gaming. Is it not? Is that not true? Is it not true that there's this world called, I know this is unknown to you guys because you never leave the house, but there's this ephemeral existence of a world
into the law
called the real life where you actually have to go work for a living. Guys, come on. Don't worry. I believe that one day you guys will understand. You'll understand that there's a better way to spend your life than on video games.
She just attack US.
There's a better time. There's,
she just did KEKW.
I'm just saying, guys. One day.
It's code. SHESHUI.
I believe. It's copium. Really. One day you'll realize that you guys are the ones sniffing copium.
But jokes aside, 18 to 22 hours grinding in MMO is hella unhealthy.
It is, dude. It is. It's kind of crazy. And, when I was younger, this is what I would do. I remember there was this one MMO I played called Swordman Online. And no joke, I would sleep for like 2 hours a night. I went to school too, by the way. This is when I was in high school. I went to school too. But I would wake up, do like the dailies, right? And then go to sleep for like 2 hours, wake up, do more dailies, and then stay up until I had to go to school. And then I would go to school, do all my school stuff. I would sleep in class, and then I would go home and I would do the same thing. because the time zones for the events were so weird. Anyway, I just can't.
Sounds like me last year, KEKW.
Yo! Dude,
BDO
BDO.
ate my life.
Dude, you get it. You get it. Oh my god. Oh my god. To be real though, I was playing BDO with you guys. I didn't play BDO that often. But whenever, you know, we would have those splurges,
Same.
those times when we were playing BDO, I only played BDO at like 4 a.m. my time. So it's just not healthy. It's just not healthy. And maybe it's my fault. Maybe I shouldn't have played the game at 4 a.m. to like destroy myself, but it's like the only time you could find to play the game. And you know, BDO is fun. It's an addiction.
But yeah, if y'all could grind 18 hours playing MMO. EZOMG, why would you play so early? Y'all should grind IRLIO.
Because I was playing on C servers. Dude, right? You should grind IRL. Can you imagine if we would be able to spend all the time we spent playing MMOs just like in something that actually matters in the world? I shouldn't say it like this. I shouldn't say it like this, but it's true. It really is true. It's crazy, right?
Working out. KEKW.
Yeah, like something like,
Nothing
imagine even spending 20 minutes a day. I mean, some of you guys go to the gym though. But 20 more minutes in a day working out than playing an MMO. It would like...
I grind working out.
Sauce is a working out master, it's true though. I don't work out as much as I should. I should though. I should take after Sauce. Sauce is like... I know I was like calling you guys out for not touching grass, but Sauce probably touches more grass than I do. I just like go to work, that's it. That's all I do. I talk to normies, that's it. I don't like actually touch grass. I'm actually allergic to grass, guys. It's true.
Need to make EZ come to the gym with me.
I honestly, yeah, please take me to the gym with you. I need to. I kind of want to. I like hate gyms, mainly because of the way they're structured.
Tips give now.
But I really should start going to the gym a little bit more, or at least, you know, just exercising more.
What
I think that's a good
kind?
idea.
I don't like going out. Very stressful.
Right. I agree. Maffy gets it.
So I stay home.
Maffy gets it. I can stay home with my cats. I can stay home with my cats.
Plus grass or grass.
Ooh, you're in theater. So is that plus grass or minus grass? Ooh. Okay, we have to analyze this. This is important. This is important.
Grass, sadly, keep.
Oh, is it minus grass? You think it's minus grass, Sauce? He is outside though. He is outside. What if he's like watching a film that has grass in it? You know? What if it's like about the great outdoors? You know, what if he's watching what's a great outdoorsy movie? That can be
Kids huff copium plus.
Oh, you're in theater as in you're a theater kid. I see. I understand. I thought you were like in the movie theaters.
I also gym.
Oh, but Kiko also gyms. It's true. It's true. Kiko's out here doing like 800 squats or something. It is true. Ooh. I think the gym counts as grass, does it not? I think that's like a grassy thing to do. Grass is a unit of measurement, guys, of how much. For those who don't know,
I don't.
it's a unit of measurement.
Bad,
it's not actual grass. It's not WWW in chat.
Maybe
it's like
you're just normie Kiko.
It's just it's a thing. It's a unit of measurement of how often you go outside, really. Oh shit, Kiko is just a normie? I would believe it. I feel like most kids are just normies, no? Isn't this like a thing? If you go to school, aren't you a normie because you're going outside? Like you guys all go to school, don't you?
I got hella wrist through sweet M56 shoot 'em.
You got hella rizzo. It is true. It is true. I don't know how Kiko does it. I don't know how you guys are able. Like it's crazy to me. I'm trying to be a better chatter in people's chat.
You sorely rizzed up.
Normies are usually rizzed up. It's true. I agree with that statement. I understand. I cannot
Is
deny.
it grass to sit on PC all day with weights all over your body? KEKW.
Oh shit, is it grass? You guys, we need to analyze
I got
this.
a Zippo lighter plus grass or grass.
What's a Zippo lighter? What? I need to Google this. A Zippo lighter? I don't even know what this is. I'm obviously not the grass what do you call it? Connoisseur in this chat, so I'm counting on you guys to determine.
Grass.
What's a Zippo lighter? Oh, is it like... Oh, it's a lighter. Yo, this thing looks cool. Do you have the one that says Supreme on it? There's a Supreme logo Zippo lighter that I'm looking at right now. Do you have that one, Kiko? Does it have a crazy design on it? Yo, some of these lighters have cool designs on them. Wow.
Naffy, I don't know how to answer
There's
yours.
There's one that looks like a Game Boy, guys. This is a funny Zippo lighter. I hope you have this one, Kiko.
No.
Oh, Sauce is saying plus grass? That's a plus grass. The Zippo lighter is a plus grass. Maffy, we're still debating on yours, it seems. If you sit on your PC all day with weights all over your body, you know, are you sitting with the weights? Are you doing like a Rock Lee situation where he always has weights on his legs? Or are you doing like it just is on your body? You know, are you not doing anything with them? Maybe this like determines whether or not it's a plus
Like
grass or a
Rock
minus
Lee.
grass. Like Rock Lee.
But like arms and legs.
You know,
EZ, have you ever drawn like body horror? Or monsters?
ooh, body horror
I just
monsters?
exist with more weight.
Have I? I don't think I have. I don't think there has ever been an easy reality where I've done body horror. Has there?
I literally shaved 10 kgs just to add 10 kgs external weight.
I love that, Happy. I love that. Yeah, I don't think I ever drawn body horror or monsters. Yo, but I knew a guy in college. He was an absolutely 3D legend. Okay, this guy is probably gonna make the next best like horror game. I believe this.
I got a black one,
about him.
but I'm thinking of etching a design.
But he would always design all these creepy looking monsters in class. And he would like do them. He was a god modeler, guys. And I thought he was like the coolest person in the world. I thought he was like a super cool person. He was a little quiet, you know, he didn't really talk to people. He was a little more socially awkward. But you know, it's just one of those guys when you like only do 3D modeling 24/7.
Models like Start Your People, I feel like is perfect for making body horror and things.
Ooh. You know, that's like the thing, right? They actually recommend that. If you want to learn how to draw like creepy monsters and stuff, they recommend learning anatomy because it makes it a little easier to be inventive when you know like different body parts you can mess up, you know, things like that. That you can elongate the torso this way, etc., etc. I mean, they recommend this in character design in general, right? It just makes your inventiveness power go up a little bit because you can actually like model that stuff because you know what it looks like. But you're making it look weird. But anyway, maybe in the future, I'd love to be able to make like super crazy horror creatures and stuff in the future. I wouldn't say no to that. I think that shit is cool. It's dope. Excuse me? The monsters in Half-Life, the monsters in Resident Evil, they're all like slightly fucked up. I think that shit is cool. You know, my favorite trope in games. My favorite trope in video games, my favorite trope in like zombie video games is when you don't have like just the base zombies, but then the zombies get a little bit more fucked up. They get a little weirder, like where you're teetering on the border of is this a zombie or is this just a fucked up monster? I love that shit. I eat that shit up. I think it's super cool. Anyway, would love to be able to do that one day. Would love to. And maybe this is the step in the right direction. I believe I can fly and draw body horror. I feel like there's different definitions of body horror too, right? It's not always just monsters and stuff. It's like being able to draw. You guys know the Flesh one? The Flesh visual novel? You guys know about this one? I forget what it's called. Maffy, I feel like you know about this. I feel like you know the name too. But there was this one visual novel that came out, gosh, 10 years ago? 15 years ago? I don't know when it came out.
Flesh.
It was a really long time ago. But it was about this
Visual
guy
novel.
who saw the world as flesh, right? As like these mounds of flesh. Except for like the main love interest who he saw as like an actual cute girl.
Yeah,
And-
it's like the grotesqueness
Yeah,
of
yeah,
it
yeah.
all.
It was like, I forget what it was called, but he saw like the world as flesh, and then I don't want to like spoil it. I don't think you guys are gonna read it though. So can I spoil it? Can I spoil it? It's really fucked up. It's like a really fucked up manga, or sorry, visual novel. Maybe it's a manga. Who knows? It's an Arrow visual novel. I should warn
Yeah,
you guys
lol.
that it's an Arrow visual novel before you actually start looking it up. It's not Seiso. It's not a Seiso visual novel. But what visual novel is Seiso, right? But I'm gonna spoil it. If you don't want to hear about it, close your ears.
Sayonara.
Yeah, I think it's
Question
Saya no
mark.
Uta. I think it is. Wait, let me Google it real quick. I think it is. This is the one. This is the one. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is the one, my boy. I shouldn't be so excited about this, but this one's kind of fucked up, guys. It's kind of fucked up because it's essentially this guy has this condition where he sees the world.
Arrow and gory.
Yeah, it's arrow and gory.
Source gods. That's sus.
Yo, sauce gods, let's go. Thank you for the sauce. It is pretty sus. He said yes, there is some unsayful things. There's unsayful things he does to this girl that he sees as a normal human being, whereas the rest of the world is gory. But the twist is that the girl that he sees completely normal is actually super grotesque and like a flesh mound, whereas everything else in the world is actually normal. He just sees it reversed. Anyway, I thought that was crazy. So the whole time he's just fucking this weird Hey King reality. What's up, my dude? We're not talking about anything unsayso on this stream at all. We're being so sayso right now. How you doing, my dude? I'm sayso, guys. I am so sayso, you have no idea. Anyway, it's a visual novel that exists. Is what I was trying to say.
Honestly, sounds like a toxic relationship.
And it gets crazy, dude. It gets so crazy.
I think I'm traumatized. I took after a cool artist and liked all the cool art of the cool artist. Unironically, I'm doing good.
Unironically,
both of which are named EZ. EZ is not
Thank you, Kiko. You're the best.
CSO
oh, you're doing good, Kring.
Revoked.
That's good to hear. How's life? How's the United States education system? I ask this to everybody because I feel like that's all I know. What everybody does is they're either in school or they're working, right? So those are the only questions I could really ask as like an intro. Is how was school? How was work? That's all I know about you guys.
I'm doing good.
Oh, you're
and
doing
he was
good?
Just
That's good to
fucking
hear.
This weird flesh muo hey reality. Susie, so.
I'm sorry. I forget. You know, one of my biggest worries, I've talked about this on stream before. There's some JP people who follow me, right? There's some, I have some, I don't know if it's cool if we're like at the level where I can call them friends. But I have JP acquaintances, you know, people who I talk to sometimes. And my biggest worry is like them coming on stream and I'm talking about the most rancid shit in the world because that's just who I am as a person. And that worries me, like genuinely. I don't know. Sometimes the topic will come up and I just can't stop because it's great. It's funny to talk about. It's just, I just think it's hilarious. And I'm thinking it,
You'd
right?
be surprised how resilient they are to those topics.
Lamau.
KEKW.
You're right. Maybe they're waiting for the opportunity to talk about this stuff too, and they just haven't found the right outlet. That, or they'll just think I'm weird.
Lol, that's
just think-
how I feel about you and Nikki sometimes. LUL, not like this.
Yo, here's the thing, guys. Nikki and I are very cultured. We're very cultured individuals, okay? You shouldn't doubt the level of our culturedness. We actually curve ourselves a lot whenever we're on stream. And sometimes we kind of forget to censor ourselves because of how rancid some of the stuff we say is. Some of the stuff we think is. You have to consider, we both really like Yuri and BL. That in itself, we both read crazy ass fan fictions. That in itself should tell us what type of people we are. Let's be real here. But anyway, it's great stuff. This is what happens when you have
talk is culture.
What do you mean? Poop talk is the
Rude.
most uncultured, or
Glad
the
me
most
and
cultural things in the
Wolf
world.
aren't the only one.
You know, this is what happens when you have like an unfiltered access to the internet. You know, now I feel like the internet's
How
a little bit
dare
more
you.
filtered. You know, like things are more censored. Like the fact that when you look on
Scat is
YouTube,
good.
even like the silliest
Read.
things are like censored now. You know,
Scat is not good.
I'm not going to respond to this. I'm not going to say my opinion on this. But I respect the opinions of
Scat
chat.
is great. But scatting is good. Maffy about to get spray bottled.
We're not going to say anything here.
Expressionless,
I'm sorry, King.
expressionless.
I'm sorry. I'm a say so, I swear. You know, I am though. I told you guys about this.
Scatman
My
is good.
my
Trackstar is the one
rice purity
that's
score.
correct.
The first time I took the test, my rice purity score was a 96. And I had to take it again to
How
get an
dare you.
86. Okay. So I'm actually a very say-so individual, guys, according to this online quiz, this online personality quiz. I'm just saying that There's more to
My
me.
rise was around 30-ish. EZ is super innocent.
Holy shit, Mappy.
But same.
Mappy, that's crazy. Excuse me? Dude, that's insane. That's insane. That's an insane score. Because there's some like really insane questions. There's some insane questions on the Rice Period score.
Greater than, are you okay?
I think this just means that we have to watch Matthew streams more because he's got stories to tell. Is what we're finding out here. Is that there's some stories here. Scatman! I love it. Yes! Oh, that broke my text-to-speech. You know, my TTS was trying to be Fubuki over here, but she wasn't able to. She wasn't able to keep up. I have to refresh my TTS. Alright. It has been refreshed. You guys can scat more.
Add Kikanonogram, I don't. IO.
Ski by dibby dib yo da dub dub.
Oh shit, let's go! Track is joining the Scatman crew. I love it. Scatting is great.
Yo da dub dub.
Yes. What was the famous one? Wasn't there one that Rick and Morty did? Is that a Rick and Morty thing? I didn't actually watch Rick and Morty that much. My cousins, my brother, also really loved it. And there was a time when I had a TV in my room. I don't have a TV in this room anymore. Where he would be watching it as I would be like on my computer, you know, hanging out, because the TV would be above me.
Can do it.
And so I picked up some
So
things.
can you?
Yo, if the Scatman do it, you could too. I love it. Oh shit!
Hackman 440.
Yo!
Have joined.
Jackman, thank you for the raid, my dude!
House spell.
How's it going?
When EZ took the
Yo,
TV
guys.
out her room.
Hello.
Yo guys, if you don't know Cacman, what are you doing with your life? Make sure to drop
Failing
this
at
fool.
Yowie.
Oh fuck, you're failing at Yowie? How can you possibly fail at Yowie?
OMG, that
What?
not actually
There's a story behind
scared
this
me.
that I want to know.
Skitty
I want to
beep
know.
beep
What is up,
ta
natty
ta
boy?
ta.
How's you
Bada
doing?
bap 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 bap.
At Matthew Kinichi _CH, is that true?
When Easy took the... Yeah, dude, the TV is so distracting. I actually hated the decision to bring the TV into the room. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool once upon a time. This is when my brother and I used to have like the same... Our workstations were both in the same room. And it was this room, right? But he moved out of this room. And he would have the TV in the room and it would be on top of me. And it would just be so distracting. Like I'm here trying to work through the night and the TV's like blaring some random show. Anyway, I'm glad the TV's gone. I'm glad I can work in silence now. It's great. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I recommend it, guys. TVs are a distraction, okay? Plus, you have YouTube. Why do you need a TV? Why would you need a TV? You can't watch streamers on TV. Unless, like, you connect... Unless you have, like, a smart TV and you can go on YouTube. But that's, like, different.
I need
That's
external
different.
sounds to exist.
You know, this is so interesting, right? I know a couple people who are the same. They, like, need,
Yeah, you can.
some background sound in order to work efficiently. Which is crazy to me, because I'm the opposite.
I've done it
I'm the
before.
opposite. I need like
HDM, my boy.
absolute silence. I need like absolute silence in order to work efficiently. Yeah, you can use an HDMI. That is true. That is true. That is an option. You can do that. This is the future, guys. But yeah, I prefer pure silence, guys.
I need absolute silence to sleep.
At Matthew Kinichi
Yo, me
_CH,
too,
is that the
sauce?
Rhythm Heaven?
Oh shit. Is the scatting from Rhythm Heaven? Oh shit, what's Rhythm Heaven? Is that a game?
Absolute silence to work efficiently turns text to speech on carrot.
You know, this is what I was saying, guys.
Morty.
This is what I'm saying. I don't think when I stream.
Oh lol.
This is like, streaming is the most inefficient way for me to learn something because I just don't retain any of it. This is really just a chatting stream as I'm drawing. The drawing is just visual stimulus for you guys, so that it doesn't just seem like I'm talking, you know? Because my model isn't as... I need to like re-rig my model to have better mouth forms and etc. All that cool stuff is just not added in because I'm too lazy to add it in. But one day I'll add it in and then it'll be a little bit more interesting to look at my face. Because right now, all I have is like mouth opens, mouth closes. That's all I've added. That's all I've added. This model has not changed from when I rigged it in like my first rigging trials. I don't know what to call it. This is like the first attempt to rigging I've ever done, and it's right here. But it's crazy, right? It's crazy. Like, you would think that I've upgraded my model, because I used to use an Android device. I used to use my OnePlus 5 in order to use VTube Studio. And it was like crazy. It was crazy bad. Like, it barely could track anything. And then I upgraded to a webcam. It was a little bit better, right? It was a little bit better when it came to tracking. But now I use my iPhone, right? My iPhone 13 Plus. And it's so much better. It's crazy how better it tracks. Anyway, guys, I'm just saying iPhones are the strategy when it comes to facial tracking. Pretty good. Pretty good AR capabilities, dude. Kind of insane. Oh, it's the one from Rick and Morty? That's true. I did mention Rick and Morty. I did mention that. For the scatting. Wait, what am I drawing right here? It's the wrong perspective.
Ain't gonna catch me with that.
Ain't gonna catch me with that? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not? I'm not gonna catch you with that.
Dab, is that true? Whoa, you go big guy from Rhythm Heaven.
Oh.
No iPhones for this cowboy.
Oh, no iPhones for this cowboy. I will say I hate iPhones.
I shall lurk for now.
Oh, thank you for the lurk, Buffy. I appreciate it. Dude, I have to say I do hate iPhones. It's like being an Android person my whole life and then transitioning to an iPhone.
Just chatting art stream.
Thank you, Buffy. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. But yeah, dude, like transitioning to an iPhone has been like the worst thing in the world. They're just so terrible. I don't know how to describe it, but Androids are just superior devices. I don't know where iPhone went wrong. And what's interesting is...
got an iPhone, but can I phone you tonight, B?
Keiko, please! That one's pretty good, though. That one's a good one. I'm gonna write that one down. You know, I get all my flirting ability. All my flirting tips, all my one-liners from Kiko. Let's be real here. You think it's easy behind the curtain? It's not. It's Kiko Nonogram. That's a good one. That's a pretty smooth one. I'm gonna use that. But what was I saying? Android master race, essentially, is what I'm trying to say here. It is the superior phone device, guys. If you're thinking, should I get the new Android device or should I get an iPhone? You should get an Android. Way better. I will say there's things that are nicer about iPhones.
About to go pick up a baddie from the club with that Riz.
Dude, I am. Let's go. That's funny.
Both.
Oh, you had both. Let's go. I still kind of use my Android for things. I haven't gotten rid of it. My OnePlus. I loved my OnePlus, guys. My OnePlus 5. There's like OnePlus 8s out right now, right? OnePlus 8, OnePlus 9. Dude, I love it. I loved it.
But
it was so good.
Android.
You kind of preferred Android? I also think, I don't know what it is.
I have a question.
But there was just things that were nicer about it. Oh shit, you have a question? Let's go. What is your question? Is that your question? Wait, that's not a question though. That's more of a statement. Don't you hate it when teachers do that? I used to have teachers who did that all the time. They were like, you would raise your hand and you would be like, hey, can I ask a question? And you would be like, is that your question? Like, do you want me to fucking get out of my chair and throw it across the room right now? I wouldn't do that. I would just think it like, excuse me. Your attitude is unwarranted right now, professor. I hated when teachers did that. I hated it. Why? Just say yes. Does it take that much energy for you to just say yes?
If your S quiet, does that mean that there's an S
shit.
loud?
Wait, I think you're up to something. Is there an
And
easy
the whole
loud?
EZ verse.
There might be a whole easy verse out there. There could be like an easy, what's like the medium between loud and quiet? Easy, not so quiet? I think there's a whole universe of opportunity thus that we have yet to tap into. We have yet to really explore. And maybe one day we will explore it and it will be marvelous. It'll be like the most marvelous development that our world has experienced. But our world's not ready for that yet. I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
You've got a
really.
OnePlus, but can I make you my +1 to a fancy dinner? Rebella 17 Neko hat.
How do you come up with these things? What the heck? How do you like instantly just think of these things? Oh, you know what you said? You said you were a theater kid. This is like a theater kid thing, right? Where you guys are like improv gods. One day I too will be an improv god, and we can like improv off of each other. That could be a thing. You can make a pickup line with that, I bet. I bet you can.
That one was a little cringe, but it's okay.
Am I just easy? I thought that was... I mean, no pun intended. No pun intended. Maybe I'm just easy so that these puns just get me. I'm like, this is genius. This is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, I think puns are hilarious.
Inside voice.
Yo, the easy inside voice. Let's go. I think they exist, dude. I think there's a what do you call it? A unlimited pasture of opportunity when it comes to the amount of easies that may exist in this universe. And I can't wait. I can't wait until I meet every single one of them. You know? I think it'd be hilarious. I think it'd be absolutely badonkers. There's like an easy Dandere out there that I've yet to meet.
I've been rizzing since before I joined.
What does that even mean? You can use rizzing as a verb? I thought rizzing was like an adjective. Like you have rizz. It's like something you have. It's also a verb? That's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, words are so like... I think about this a lot. This is like in the arsenal of things that I just think about and keep me up at 2 a.m. at night instead of sleeping. It's like... like the meme?
Kiko the Rizzler.
Yo, the Rizzler! Let's go. Yeah, it's like, I think about this a lot, where, really, if you think about the literal definition of words, the way we use them in common speech is probably unlike what the actual definition of the word is. And I think that's okay. I think that's an okay thing. I think it's okay if we use words incorrectly, because who cares? Who cares if words are used incorrectly?
So artying all night isn't what keeps you up.
So arting all night is not what keeps you up? What? Wow. How did I even say that? How did I even say that? No, it's the random thoughts, bro. It's the random, thoughts like, yo, I wonder... This is what I was thinking about last night. Do you guys want to know what was keeping me up last night that I was looking at my phone? I was wondering, right? Because California, as you guys know, is in a drought right now, right? As you guys know this. This is like... California is always in a drought. And I was wondering, how is that possible? How is it possible that we live in California? We live next to an ocean, right? Why are we in a drought? What is the mechanical reason why we can't just take ocean water? And so I was Googling, right? Because I had no idea. Why can't we just use ocean water for things like our plumbing, right? We don't need good water, do we? I don't know. We probably don't need salt water.
Still
and
in a drought,
and it's still
though y'all are flooding our end.
We're always in a drought, dude. It's like the weird thing where it's like drought has a couple of levels, right? It's not like you're in a drought or you're not in a drought. It's like a spectrum of you're in a drought. So it's like you're in a severe drought or you're in a mild drought or you're in a not so mild drought, right? We're not in a severe drought right now. We're in the middle of not having a drought and having a drought. You know what I mean? Which is still a drought, which still counts as being in a drought. It's like a weird measurement they use. I don't know how they calculate it. How do they calculate the amount of water we have in California? How is that calculated? Is it based off of... This is a question I have. This is the stuff that keeps me up at night, right? It's how do they calculate these things? Because I don't know. This is not stuff they teach you in school. This is not stuff that they teach you on the internet. You kind of just have to Google it and hope you're finding the most accurate sources of information online. And that just keeps me up because I'm trying to find a study that has kind of covered it, that kind of tells me how they figured this stuff out. And you find 5 different sources that say 5 different things and you're like, God, I don't know. And then you fall asleep eventually. It's 6 a.m. and you're like, wow, I have to wake up tomorrow for work. Don't I, huh? I have a 6 a.m. morning meeting tomorrow. Maybe I should wake up for that. And then you just kind of cry. You cry yourself to sleep because you don't know anything. Anyway, that's what keeps me up, guys.
Y'all need more water plants. But the energy companies there are cock-blocking it and extremist eco people also stop them.
Ooh, yeah? I feel like there's so many reasons.
There's a lot of issues with places on the coast without enough water.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding too, right? Is there's just so many different reasons that you can explain why something like this is happening. And it's all complicated. There's the geological reason, right? Of how California works and how California is geologically constructed and how cities have been constructed and how you can get water from point A to point B is not so cut and dry. But then there's also government reasons why, right? the way government regulates your water. But then there's also companies that exist. It's like this whole process. It's this whole complicated little thing that I cannot possibly say that I know anything about. All I can say is that I read into it and I deem it complicated. Too complicated to actually understand. And I hope there is somebody out there who gets it. Somebody like, can you imagine? I don't know if there's majors for this. Right? Because I feel like when you major at things at school, they're the most general things
the aquifer
possible.
on better.
Right? There's like so many different general majors you can have, but then when you start working at a company, they're like, hey, there's this really very specific thing you can use your very general major for, and you start working at a company that does not pay you well, and you just suffer. And you just suffer because you don't really know what you're doing. Everyone's just winging it. Everyone is just winging it, pretending to know what they're doing. And then sometimes you're a person who's winging it at a very, very important job that people rely on, and you're kind of fucked. You're kind of fucked, and so is everybody else. And that's crazy. And that's why I love chaos. You just gotta embrace the fact that the world is not very structured. And it's all, nobody can really fix any of our problems.
Job.
Yo, me at any job, dude. It's just life. Life is chaos, guys. You just gotta, the earlier you accept that, the more free you will be in the world. It's kind of scary if you think about it. It is very scary. But you know, doesn't that make it a little bit more exciting? That we really don't know what we're doing? But that's okay. I think that's okay. Well, maybe it's not. It's leading to our impending doom, but what can you do? There's like VTubers now, let's just worry about that. Let's just think about VTubers. Because VTubers are great. Did you know Niji Sanji's JP branch just debuted? They got a new JP branch, and all the girls are super cute, guys. I'd rather think about this than California's water problem.
You make the world less scary though. EZ the cow 21 UWU pregasm.
Lamau. Do I really? You know what? I want to be smarter though. I do want to be smarter about it. I was thinking about it. This is another thing that keeps me up at night. There's a lot of stuff you're gonna find that keeps me up at night, which isn't the healthiest thing in the world. But it's like, wouldn't it be cool to be smart? Wouldn't it be like super cool to be like a genius? I think about this. I think that'd be super cool. Why did people hate on nerds so much in school? I don't get it. Like, I feel like it's the coolest thing in the world to like know things.
Start wearing round glasses instead of rectangle.
Oh shit, is that the upgrade I need? Suddenly I wear round glasses and I'm like a genius? Maybe that's the strategy. Who wears round glasses in media? Who's like a smart person that wears round glasses? I imagine like 3 different characters that wear round glasses, but I don't think either of them are particularly smart. I'm gonna name these characters right now, and I'm not gonna say anything about them, but I'm gonna let you guys have your own opinion about these characters. I obviously have my opinion. But Harry Potter, I don't think he's a smart guy. I think he's kind of stupid. Velma from the recent Scooby-Doo series, I don't know about that. She has round glasses. Maybe the other versions of Velma were kind of smart. This version, I have my notes. I have notes. I have improvements. Who else wears smart round glasses? Dexter wore round glasses, right? Dexter Laboratory. You guys remember that guy? He was smart, I think. But I feel like the meme is that he was smart to a fault. You know what I mean? Like the man knew his numbers. The man knew his science. Man was an evil genius, but he would always get trumped. He would always get like flabbergasted by the simplest things. Like he couldn't deal with normies, And I don't know, that's not a level of intelligence I actually desire in the world.
Stein from Soul Eater was a genius.
Ooh, Stein from Soul Eater. That is a good counter argument. That is a good counter. You're right, I should be looking at anime for my reference, because Western media just ain't it. Western media's circular glasses equals stupidity, is what we're finding here. Who else wore rounded glasses in anime? I feel like there's more characters who did than I'm imagining.
Shrimp, though.
I mean, who isn't though? Who doesn't shrimp a little bit? If you're not shrimping a little bit, I don't trust you.
That suits you.
Excuse me. It's true though. It is true. It is true. I cannot deny any second of that claim, because as you guys know, wait. As you guys know, if I do this, what? Oh man, my shrimping power is actually a lot less than I thought it would be. No, my own bot betrayed me. My own bot betrayed me. Sad, bro. Harry Potter? I said Harry Potter. I did. I don't think he's a smart guy. 10% shrimping? Kiko? Oh my god. I thought you were higher than that. There is a cooldown. I should have mentioned this. There is a cooldown on the simp. It's at least, I think, a 10-second cooldown. So you may have to try again, Track, for it to work. I think it should work now. Nobody make the command. Track has to make the command. It's their turn. There is no sus one. That is true. There is no, I need a sus command. I don't have a sus command. That'd be a nice addition. I might add that.
Wait 30 seconds. LUL.
There's a waiting. There, you had to wait in line before you can do it. Oh, 2%. Dude, why is it getting worse?
Damn.
How is it getting worse? Holy shit. Holy shit. You know, the reason it didn't work for Track is because Track's simping percentage is so high that the bot was like, no, we can't embarrass Easy, Kiko, and Sauce. We gotta hold back. It's still not working for Track. Holy shit, what the fuck? Why not? You know, I'm telling you, it's because Track, you're like so high of a percentage that you're gonna put us to shame. It's gonna be like Sauce, Kiko, and Easy, the #1 shrimps all around.
Big of a simp without even being at 100% yet.
Yeah, dude, who knew? Who knows what 100% is at? Right? 100% is probably like insane. It's probably like next level. We can't even possibly imagine it. That's how crazy it is. Anyway, guys, I think I filled the page.
It's like 69% simping.
Oh my gosh, I hope it is. The funny number, please.
That ain't
please.
Even 11% of my power.
That's not even 11% of your power. That's right. It's like your simping ability at this very moment. It's at this very moment, guys. I'm gonna drink some. Yo, 80%. I'm telling you guys,
OMG.
Track is another breed. Holy shit. And I think, guys, that's the best place that we should leave it for tonight, don't you think? I think this is a pretty good spot. This is a pretty good stop that we could do. We could stop it right here and go ahead and drop a raid to one of our boys who's playing Minecraft right now. You're playing Minecraft, right? Yes, you are. Dude, guys, I love this VTuber.
KEKW.
This is a godly VTuber. Oh shit. Who redeemed that? I need to see. Sauce. Thank you. Yeah, Track's the shrimp master over here. We're gonna go ahead and drop a raid to one of my favorite VTubers. My favorite beef VTubers who also has a TTS in their chat. So you better go let her know that she's got this in the bag. And you better type it because it can read it. It can actually read out the you got this. And that's really what we live for.
Go find food.
Oh. Thank you for the redeem. You're gonna go find food. Yes, eat, guys.
Good
Make sure to eat. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you when I see you. I'm streaming tomorrow with BGN at 3 o'clock PT. We're doing our usual VN stream if you guys want to come by and check that out. And yeah, that's it for this week, guys. I will see you when I see you. Let's go raid.
Thanks for stream, smiley face.